Life has a way of testing us, not in moments of comfort, but in moments of pain. It will not ask your permission before it breaks you. It will not knock on your door politely before it enters with betrayal, loss, or disappointment. And very often it is not life alone. It is people, the very people you trusted, the ones you carried in your heart, the ones you believed would walk with you until the end. Sometimes they are the ones who strike the deepest wounds. Now the question arises, when people break you, how do you stay strong? How do you stand when everything inside you wants to collapse? How do you breathe when every part of your chest feels crushed by pain? The answer begins with a shift in perspective. We are taught to fear breaking. We believe that if we are broken, it means we are finished, useless, discarded. But what if I told you that breaking is not the end of you, it is the beginning of the strongest version of you? Think of clay in the hands of a potter. The clay is pressed, stretched, reshaped, sometimes broken down again and again before it becomes the vessel it was meant to be. Without the breaking, it cannot be shaped. Without the fire, it cannot be hardened. Without the pressure, it cannot take form. You are no different. When people break you, they are unknowingly shaping you. They are carving away your illusions. They are revealing your hidden strengths. They are preparing you for a life you may not yet see. Most of us, when hurt, only ask one question. Why me? Why did they betray me? Why did they leave me? Why did they hurt me? But the more powerful question is, what is this trying to teach me? What strength is hidden inside this suffering? Every pain carries a gift. Betrayal teaches discernment. Loss teaches appreciation. Humiliation teaches humility. Rejection teaches self-reliance. The very people who tried to break you often end up giving you the strength they thought you did not have. The Japanese art of kintsugi teaches us this beautifully. When a piece of pottery breaks, it is not thrown away, it is repaired with gold. The cracks remain visible, but instead of hiding them, they are highlighted. The brokenness becomes the beauty. The scars become the art. You too are kintsugi. Every scar you carry, every wound that once bled, can be filled with wisdom, with resilience, with dignity. And when people look at you, they will not see someone destroyed. They will see someone unshakable. Do not misunderstand strength. It does not mean you do not cry. It does not mean you never feel pain. It does not mean you walk through betrayal untouched. Strength means you cry, but you keep moving. You feel pain, but you refuse to let it bury you. You are betrayed, but you choose not to become bitter. A tree does not resist the wind by being stiff. It survives by bending, by swaying, by yielding, but never by breaking at its root. In the same way, staying strong does not mean pretending to be invincible. It means bending with the storm, but not allowing the storm to uproot you. Strength is found not in perfection, but in endurance. When people break you, a common reaction is to live with the desire for revenge. You want to prove them wrong, to show them you are stronger, greater, more successful than they ever imagined. But let me tell you this, the moment you live to prove them wrong, you are still chained to them. Your power is still in their hands. True strength is not about proving anyone wrong. True strength is proving yourself right. It is looking in the mirror and saying, they may have broken me, but I will rise. Not for them, but for me. Not because they doubted me, but because I refuse to doubt myself. When you rise for yourself, no one can take that victory away. After the breaking, you have two paths. One path is bitterness. You harden your heart, you distrust everyone. You walk through life with anger as your shield. That is the easy path, but it is also the path that continues your suffering. The other path is wisdom. You learn, you understand. You do not close your heart, but you open it with discernment. You do not stop trusting, but you trust carefully. You do not stop loving, but you love with awareness. Bitterness keeps you trapped in the past. Wisdom frees you to move into the future. Every scar you carry is a story not of weakness, but of survival. When you look at your scars, do not see failure, see victory. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still standing. That means every attempt to break you has already failed. So wear your scars with pride. They are the proof that you endured what others could not. They are the golden cracks that make you beautiful. At the end, strength is always a choice. You cannot choose what people do to you. You cannot choose the betrayals, the rejections, the losses, but you can always choose how you respond. You can choose to stay broken, or you can choose to rise. And every time you choose to rise, every time you pick yourself up again, every time you walk forward despite the pain, you are building a strength that no one, not even life itself, can take away. Breaking is not your end, it is your shaping. Pain is not your punishment, it is your teacher. Scars are not your shame, they are your crown. Do not stay down. Do not let them win. Rise not as the same person you were before, but as the stronger, wiser, unbreakable soul you were always meant to be. That is the art of turning pain into power. When people break you, the first instinct is often to scream, to explain, to justify, to fight back with words, with emotions, with noise. But true strength, my friend, is not found in the loud reaction. It is not found in the desperate attempt to be understood. Strength is found in silence, a silence so deep, so unshakable, that it becomes more powerful than any argument, any defense, any battle. Silence is not weakness. Silence is the highest form of discipline. It is the choice to conserve your energy when the world tries to drain it. It is the decision to let your actions speak louder than your wounded pride. It is the wisdom of knowing that the louder someone tries to hurt you, the less their voice deserves to enter your soul. When someone breaks you, they expect a reaction. They expect to see you crumble, to see you beg, to see you explain, to see you defend yourself. They expect the noise. And when you stay silent, when you refuse to play the game, you take back the power they thought they had. You deny them the satisfaction of watching you collapse. That silence becomes your shield. It is not the silence of weakness, it is the silence of inner mastery. Think of water. When disturbed, the surface ripples, the waves rise, the reflection disappears. But when the water is still, calm, untouched, it reflects everything clearly. The human heart is no different. When you allow your anger, your pain, your ego to disturb you, your life becomes restless. But when you remain still, when you embrace silence, you see everything clearly. You recognize who is worth your energy and who is not. You see the lesson in the pain without drowning in the noise. Silence does not mean you do not feel pain. It does not mean you do not bleed. It does not mean you do not cry when you are alone. It means you choose not to let your pain become a public performance. You choose dignity. You choose to keep your strength contained like a fire within, burning, transforming, preparing to light your path forward instead of wasting itself on those who tried to harm you. When people break you, silence allows you to listen to yourself again. The noise of the world is loud, but the voice of your soul is quiet. If you are always busy reacting, you will never hear that inner guidance, but in silence, you discover clarity. You realize that not every insult needs an answer, not every betrayal needs revenge, not every rejection needs justification. Sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is to say nothing at all and keep walking. In silence, you become unmovable. People can throw stones of words, but they fall into emptiness. People can try to provoke you, but you refuse to be shaken. They can shout, but you choose peace. That is strength. Because real power is not in controlling others, it is in controlling yourself. When you respond with silence, you give yourself the time to process without haste. Anger pushes you to act quickly, and regret deeply. Silence teaches you patience. It gives you space to heal before you act. It teaches you that not every battle deserves your sword. Many times silence wins wars that words could never conquer. Consider this: when a seed is buried in the soil, it does not announce its growth with noise. It grows silently, invisibly, until one day it breaks through the ground, strong, undeniable, unstoppable. That is how you must be. After being broken, you grow in silence, you heal in silence, you build in silence, and one day you rise. Not with words, but with results so undeniable that no one can question your strength. Silence also teaches you detachment. When you stop trying to explain yourself to people who never cared to understand, you free yourself. When you stop seeking validation from those who tried to break you, you reclaim your worth. When you stop answering every attack, you realize that not everyone deserves your presence. Your energy is sacred. Your peace is sacred, and not everyone has earned the right to disturb it. Understand this: silence is not suppression. It is not the act of hiding your emotions until they poison you. It is the conscious choice of where, when, and how you express them. You do not waste your emotions on those who enjoy your suffering. Instead, you channel them into growth, into purpose, into building a life so strong that their attempts to break you seem laughable in comparison. Silence is misunderstood in today's world. People think, if you are silent, you are weak. If you are silent, you are afraid. If you are silent, you are defeated. But those who truly understand life know the opposite is true. Only the strong can stay silent. Only the wise can remain calm when insulted. Only the disciplined can choose not to waste words when words are demanded. When people break you, your silence should not be emptiness, it should be presence. A presence so strong that it unsettles those who try to harm you. They will expect tears, they will expect arguments, they will expect chaos. And when you offer none, when you stand in silence with your dignity intact, it becomes unbearable for them. Because silence has a weight, it speaks louder than words ever could. It says, I am not controlled by you, I am not defined by you, I am beyond your reach. In your silence, you build a fortress where your mind heals, your spirit strengthens, your heart regains clarity, and when the time comes, when you choose to act, you act not out of reaction, but out of wisdom. That is what makes you unshakable. So, when life or people break you, do not always rush to speak, to defend, to fight. Learn the art of silence. Stay calm when the storm is loud. Be still when the world tries to shake you. Retreat into yourself, not as a coward, but as a master. Let your silence carry the weight of your strength. Let it remind you that you are not here to please, to beg, to argue. You are here to rise. And rise you will, but silently, steadily, undeniably, just like the seed under the soil, just like the mountain unmoved by storms, just like the water that reflects the sky only when it is still. Remember this: the loudest power is often found in the quietest silence. Stay silent, stay calm, stay strong, because in that silence, no one can break you again. People will always have opinions about you. They will judge your choices, question your actions, and sometimes try to define who you are without ever knowing who you truly are. Some will speak with kindness, some will speak with ignorance, and some will speak with a cruelty designed to wound. When you have been broken by life or by those you trusted, it is easy to fall into the trap of caring too much about what others think. It is easy to allow their words to become a mirror that distorts your self-image, to let their judgments dictate your mood, your decisions, your sense of worth. But hear me clearly. Your life is not theirs to define. Your strength does not depend on their approval. Your peace does not live in their opinions. The journey of rising beyond the opinions of others begins with the understanding that you cannot control what others think. You cannot control how they perceive you, what assumptions they make, or how they will use your weaknesses against you. Trying to do so is like trying to control the wind. It is futile. The wind will blow where it will, and the moment you attempt to hold it in your hands, it slips away. The same is true for people's opinions. You cannot hold them, you cannot shape them, and most importantly, you cannot allow them to rule your heart. When people break you, it is natural to crave validation. You want someone to say, it's okay, you are not to blame, you are still worthy. But the most reliable validation does not come from others. It comes from within. You must become your own witness, your own supporter, your own protector. You must look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am enough, I am strong. I am unbroken in ways they will never understand. And the more you reinforce this truth, the less the opinions of others will have the power to shake you. Many people spend their entire lives chasing approval. They modify their actions, their words, even their dreams, in an attempt to fit into the mold that others have designed for them. And yet, that mold is never perfect, never consistent, never truly theirs to offer. When you let their opinions dictate your life, you give away your freedom, you give away your power, you give away the very essence of who you are. Rising beyond the opinions of others requires reclaiming that freedom, reclaiming that power, and embracing the life you are meant to live, regardless of what anyone else believes. It is not easy. Every time someone criticizes you, doubts you, or dismisses you, there is a voice inside that whispers, maybe they are right, maybe I am not enough. That voice is normal, but it is also false. The truth is that you are enough. Your strength does not need to be measured by their standards. Your worth does not need their permission. Every person who tries to judge you is seeing only a fragment of your story, only a fraction of your struggle, only a shadow of your truth. And shadows cannot define the light within you. Rising beyond others' opinions also requires detachment. You must learn to observe the judgment, the criticism, and the negativity without internalizing it. When someone tries to define you, do not argue immediately, do not react impulsively. Instead, listen, acknowledge and release. Like a leaf floating down a river, let their words pass by without sticking to your soul. Your energy is too valuable to be spent defending yourself to those who will never understand. Your focus is too precious to be wasted on proving yourself to people who are not walking your path. One of the greatest mistakes humans make is equating respect with agreement. You may desperately want people to agree with your decisions, to see the wisdom in your choices, to validate your journey, but respect does not require agreement. Respect is a state of being, not a reflection of how others feel about you. You do not need everyone to understand your path. You do not need everyone to applaud your choices. What matters is that you understand your path, that you honor your choices, and that you walk your life with integrity and courage, regardless of what anyone else thinks. When people break you, it is tempting to let their opinions define your narrative. They may call you weak, unworthy, foolish, or incapable. They may try to rewrite your story to make themselves feel superior. But the narrative of your life belongs to you alone. You are the author, the director, the guardian of your story. You choose the words, the chapters, the journey, and when you rise beyond their opinions, you reclaim the power to tell your story in your own voice, with your own truth, and with your own dignity. It is also important to remember that opinions are often projections. When someone criticizes you harshly, often they are revealing more about their insecurities, fears, and limitations than about you. Their judgment is a reflection of their inner world, not your worth. Rising beyond their opinions requires recognizing this truth. You cannot take responsibility for their projections. You cannot allow their fears to become your chains. Your power lies in seeing through the illusion and continuing forward with clarity and self-belief. Rising beyond others' opinions is a practice, a discipline, and a commitment to yourself. It requires daily reinforcement. Every time someone tries to pull you into their world of judgment, remind yourself of your own truth. Every time you feel the pull of validation, ground yourself in self-respect. Every time criticism pierces your heart, breathe deeply and let it flow past, unclaimed. Strength grows in these quiet moments of choice, in the repeated decision to honor yourself over external perception. And when you master this, when you consistently rise above the opinions of others, something remarkable happens. You become untouchable, not because you are invincible, but because you have chosen a higher ground. You are no longer reactive to every word, every glance, every judgment. Your energy is protected. Your peace is defended. Your spirit is free. People who once sought to break you now find nothing to hold on to, because the power they hope to wield over you no longer exists. Remember this, the strongest souls are not those praised by the crowd. They are not those cheered for by others. They are not those validated by external approval. The strongest souls are those who can walk alone with confidence, who can carry their own truth without hesitation, who can rise beyond the opinions of the world and live fully, freely, and fearlessly. So when people break you, do not fight to change their minds. Do not argue to be seen. Do not scramble for approval. Instead, rise above, rise with quiet confidence, rise with clarity of purpose, rise with the unshakable knowledge that your worth is intrinsic, your strength is internal, and your life is yours to live, no matter what anyone else believes. Walk forward with dignity. Speak when it is necessary, but know that your silence is also powerful. Build your life according to your own vision, and let their opinions fall into irrelevance. Each step you take beyond their judgment strengthens your soul. Each breath you take in self-trust fortifies your heart. Each choice you make in alignment with your truth moves you further from the power they thought they had. Rise beyond the opinions of others, and you rise to the highest form of freedom. You become untouchable in spirit, unbreakable in mind, and unstoppable in purpose. That, my friends, is where true strength lives, and that is where the peace of the unshakable soul is found. True strength is not born from ease. It is not born from comfort, from applause, from the absence of challenge. True strength is cultivated in the quiet, often unseen moments, when no one is watching, when the world has turned its back, and when life has stripped away all illusions of security. When people break you, when disappointment rains down, when betrayal cuts deep, it is in these moments that the discipline of inner strength is forged. This discipline is not given, it is not inherited, it is earned through deliberate choice, repeated practice, and unwavering commitment to oneself. Discipline of inner strength begins with self-awareness. You must first understand yourself, your emotions, and your reactions. When someone hurts you, what is your first response? Anger, sadness, revenge, fear? Observe these impulses without judgment, without shame, without suppression. Awareness is the foundation, because you cannot control what you do not see. And once you see your reactions clearly, you gain the power to choose a response rather than be driven by impulse. Discipline is choosing not to be controlled by external events. Discipline is realizing that pain may touch your heart, but it will not dominate your actions. Inner strength is nurtured through consistency. Life does not build resilience in a day, and no single act of courage guarantees lifelong power. It is the small, repeated choices that accumulate over time. Every time you resist lashing out when insulted, every time you choose patience over reaction, every time you maintain dignity in the face of provocation, you are exercising your inner muscles. The mind is like a garden. If left unattended, weeds of doubt, resentment, and fear will overtake it. But with daily practice, careful tending, and conscious thought, it can bloom with courage, wisdom, and serenity. Discipline is the gardener of the soul. Self-discipline requires mastery over the mind. When people break you, your mind may become a battlefield. Thoughts of revenge, thoughts of despair, thoughts of inadequacy may flood in. If you surrender to them, You allow external events to dictate your inner world. But if you discipline your mind, you choose which thoughts to entertain, which beliefs to nurture, and which illusions to release. Meditation, reflection, and conscious breathing are tools, but the greatest tool is the deliberate decision to remain anchored in your values rather than the chaos around you. Inner strength is also a matter of emotional regulation. Strength is not the absence of feeling, it is the ability to feel fully and yet remain unshaken. When someone breaks you, anger may rise, sadness may consume, and fear may whisper lies of hopelessness. These emotions are natural, but discipline allows you to process them without being enslaved. You acknowledge the pain, you honor the grief, and then you release them without letting them determine your choices. Emotional discipline transforms vulnerability into power. Another aspect of this discipline is resilience. Life will test you repeatedly. People may break you more than once. Circumstances may seem unbearable, and the temptation to give up may be overwhelming. Yet inner strength is the ability to rise, not just once, but again and again. It is the refusal to be defined by temporary setbacks. It is the commitment to continue forward, even when the world seems aligned against you. True strength is not measured by the absence of struggle, but by the unwavering capacity to persevere through it. Discipline also involves setting boundaries. People often break others because they are allowed to cross limits unchecked. To cultivate inner strength, you must define what you will accept and what you will not. This is not an act of anger or defiance, it is an act of self-respect. When you establish and maintain boundaries, you protect your energy, your peace, and your focus. You create a sacred space where your spirit can heal, grow, and thrive. Inner strength is the courage to say no to what diminishes you, even when it is difficult or uncomfortable. Consistency in action, clarity in thought, mastery of emotion, resilience in adversity, and courage in boundary setting, these are the pillars of inner strength. But there is a deeper, quieter aspect, patience. Strength is not always visible in immediate triumphs. Often it manifests in the long waiting, in the quiet preparation, in the calm acceptance of what cannot be controlled. Patience allows the broken to rebuild, the weary to regain energy, and the heart to find wisdom in suffering. It is the silent force that transforms endurance into power. Inner strength is further amplified by purpose. When someone breaks you, it is easy to feel lost, to doubt your direction, to question your value. Discipline ensures that you do not drift. Purpose anchors you. It reminds you that your life has meaning beyond the opinions, actions, or betrayals of others. It gives structure to your discipline and motivation to continue when temptation to despair is strong. With purpose, inner strength becomes not only a shield but a compass, guiding you through storms and toward a life of authenticity and fulfillment. Gratitude is a subtle, yet powerful, element of this discipline. Strength is not hardened by bitterness, but softened by wisdom. Gratitude allows you to acknowledge the lessons in adversity, the growth in pain, and the clarity that comes from reflection. Even when broken, the ability to see what is good, what is instructive, what is meaningful, transforms suffering into opportunity. This is a discipline of perspective, choosing to focus on what elevates rather than what diminishes. It is not naive optimism, it is conscious cultivation of mental and spiritual power. Finally, inner strength requires action. Discipline is not passive. It is manifested in deliberate choices, in courageous steps, in the ongoing commitment to self-mastery. Each morning is an opportunity to reinforce strength, each challenge a chance to exercise it, each setback a moment to reaffirm it. Discipline is the bridge between suffering and transformation, between brokenness and mastery, between fear and freedom. It is the fire that turns pain into power, doubt into clarity, and weakness into resilience. So when people break you, remember that the true measure of your strength is not in how loudly you react or how quickly you recover. It is in the discipline you cultivate in the unseen moments. It is in your ability to control your mind, regulate your emotions, maintain boundaries, persevere, and act with purpose. It is in the daily choices to rise, to stand, and to move forward with integrity. Discipline of inner strength is not glamorous, it is not always visible, and it is rarely praised, but it is unstoppable. It is the quiet engine that propels the broken into greatness, the fearful into courage, and the lost into mastery. Carry this truth within you. Inner strength is a discipline you create. It is yours to nurture, it is yours to defend. And once cultivated, it is unshakable. Life may attempt to break you again, but your disciplined soul will rise each time, stronger, wiser, and more luminous than before. This is the power, the art, and the grace of true inner strength. When people break you, the instinct is often to strike back, to seek revenge, to make them feel the pain they caused. It is natural to feel anger, resentment, and even a desire for justice, but understand this: revenge is a prison. It keeps you chained to the person who hurt you, to the moment that broke you, and to the energy that is meant to propel you forward. True strength, true mastery, comes not from retaliation, but from walking forward with peace. Peace is the ultimate power. It is the force that no one can touch, no circumstance can destroy, and no betrayal can diminish. Walking forward with peace requires letting go. It requires releasing the desire to repay pain with pain. It is the act of lifting the burden of resentment from your shoulders and choosing not to carry the weight of someone else's actions. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. It keeps your heart heavy, your mind clouded, and your spirit chained. To walk forward, you must release the anchor of revenge and allow yourself to rise unburdened. Peace is cultivated in the heart before it is seen in the world. You cannot walk forward peacefully if your mind is consumed with thoughts of retaliation. You cannot move freely if your soul is busy plotting how to hurt someone who hurt you. Begin with the inner work. Breathe, reflect, meditate, observe your emotions without judgment, and then consciously let them go. This is not weakness, it is not passivity, it is a demonstration of mastery over self, over emotion, and over circumstance. Understand this: walking forward with peace does not mean you forget. It does not mean you condone the betrayal or the harm done to you. It means you acknowledge the reality, you process the pain, and you refuse to let it dictate your path. You carry the lesson, not the weight. You remember the truth, not the bitterness. And in this way you transform brokenness into wisdom, loss into clarity, and suffering into growth. Peace also comes from understanding the nature of human behavior. People hurt because they are lost, insecure, or blinded by their own fears. Their actions often reflect more about them than about you. Recognizing this does not excuse their behavior, but it frees you from taking their actions personally. When you walk forward with this awareness, you are no longer a victim of their choices. You are a master of your own response. To walk forward with peace, you must also embrace forgiveness, not for the person who hurt you, but for yourself. Holding on to anger and resentment poisons your soul. It keeps you trapped in the past. Forgiveness is the act of reclaiming your energy, of saying to yourself, I will not allow this to define me. I will not allow this to steal my future. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is the ultimate form of strength. It allows you to move forward with clarity, confidence, and a lightness that revenge can never offer. Walking forward with peace requires patience. Healing is not instantaneous. Moving beyond betrayal, heartbreak, or disappointment takes time, effort, and repeated conscious choice. Do not rush the process. Do not demand immediate release of pain. Allow yourself to feel, to grieve, and to process, but also commit to the path of peace. understanding that each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to freedom. Patience is the companion of inner strength, and peace cannot exist without it. Another essential element of walking forward with peace is focus. Focus on your life, your goals, your dreams, and your purpose. When people break you, it is easy to become obsessed with them, with their actions, and with their consequences. But such obsession drains your energy and diverts you from what truly matters. Turn your attention inward. Turn your energy toward your growth, your healing, and your journey. Let your life become your response, not your reaction. When you focus on creating a meaningful and fulfilling life, the voices of those who tried to break you fade into insignificance. Walking forward with peace also involves self-respect. Do not allow anyone to see you diminished by their actions. Carry yourself with dignity. Speak when necessary, but with calm authority. Stand firm in your values and refuse to be swayed by anger, fear, or provocation. Self-respect strengthens peace because it ensures that you act not from a place of weakness, but from a place of integrity. Those who attempted to break you will see that your spirit cannot be shaken, that your heart cannot be manipulated, and that your life is moving forward with purpose and grace. The power of peace is often underestimated. People may think that revenge is the true display of strength, but it is not. Revenge requires energy, strategy, and constant attention. It binds you to the past and keeps you entangled with those who harmed you. Peace, on the other hand, frees you. It allows you to rise above. It allows you to live without the burden of negativity. It allows your soul to breathe and your spirit to soar. Peace is not passive. It is the most active form of strength because it transforms pain into wisdom, anger into calm, and brokenness into a life of fulfillment. Walking forward with peace requires courage. It is easier to retaliate than to release. It is easier to hold grudges than to forgive. It is easier to stew in anger than to rise above it. But the courageous heart chooses peace. The courageous soul chooses freedom. The courageous spirit understands that the ultimate victory is not to hurt those who harmed you, but to remain whole, unbroken, and luminous despite them. And when you walk forward with peace, you inspire others without trying. You show that strength does not require destruction, that power does not require harm, and that victory does not require revenge. Your life becomes a testament to resilience, wisdom, and mastery over circumstance. Those who once sought to hurt you may see your rise and feel powerless, because true strength is not demonstrated through domination, but through unshakable inner calm. So remember, when people break you, choose peace over revenge, choose clarity over anger, choose freedom over attachment to past pain, walk forward with dignity, with courage, with patience, and with unwavering focus on your own life and purpose. Let the world see that your spirit cannot be broken, that your heart cannot be stolen, and that your journey cannot be interrupted by those who sought to harm you. Peace is your armor, your compass, and your power. And when you live this way, you not only heal yourself, but you also illuminate a path for others who may be struggling with pain, betrayal, or heartbreak. Walking forward with peace is not easy. It requires discipline, patience, awareness, and courage. But it is the only path that leads to true freedom. It is the path of the unshakable soul, the fearless heart, and the enlightened spirit. Choose it, and you will rise above the brokenness, above the betrayal, and above the judgments of others. Choose it, and you will discover a power that no one can take, no circumstance can diminish, and no pain can destroy. Walk forward with peace, and in doing so, you walk forward into your highest self.